Knights Hospitaller of St. John, Jerusalem, Rhodes, and Malta, better known as the Hospitaller Knights Order, was one of the three most notable orders to come out of the Crusades, alongside the Knights Templar and Teutonic Knights. Prior to the First Crusade, and even that of the People's Crusades, there was a hospital built in Jerusalem, funded by the Catholic Church whilst Islamic rule. The hospital was dedicated to protecting and aiding the misfortunate, the ill, but most importantly, any pilgrim who sought out a life in the Holy Land. The hospital had been well established by the year 1080 with help of public donations and fundings to aid the hospital's cause. The order had mainly focused on taking care of the sick and needy in Jerusalem. In the success of the First Crusade of 1099, which brought forth the capture of Jerusalem by the Catholic Church, saw Blessed Gerard appointed head of the hospital in Jerusalem. What comes to follow is official recognition and status by the Pope in 1113, which grants the order their sovereignty from any kingdom answering only to the Pope. Shortly after this, the order is militarized and Blessed Gerard becomes Grand Master of the order, and only then are they officially known as Knights Hospitaller. Alongside the Knights Templar, who had been granted status as the church's main military force in 1119, together these two factions would fight for the church in the name of Jesus Christ, further spreading Catholicism across Europe, all while still protecting pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. The Knights Hospitaller became one of Europe's most powerful and wealthiest religious military orders, being assigned many castles, strongholds, and provinces all across Europe throughout many kingdoms, and fought throughout the many crusades that enveloped Europe and the Holy Land at the time. The Hospitaller Knights had become a huge influence, having many volunteers from all across the land join their cause and taking up arms to defend the Catholic belief. Due to much controversy between the Templar Knights and the King of France at a time when the Pope was not as powerful as he once was, the Hospitaller Knights would outlive their sister order, the Knights Templar, whom were disbanded in 1312. This would see many former Templar Knights join the Hospitaller order. When Jerusalem fell back to Islamic rule, the Knightly Order would be forced to move their headquarters, and Rhodes would be their home for a while, up until 2011 for some period of time, before they ultimately moved instead to the island of Malta and would rule the island for 200 years, protecting the island from Islamic attacks and turning it into an economic stronghold. In 1834, at the height of the Napoleonic Wars, the Grand Master of the Order received a diplomatic proposal to let Napoleon's ships enter Malta's harbors to replenish supplies. The Knights Grand Master gave headway to only allow 2 of Napoleon's ships to enter the harbor. Napoleon did not take this offer, as it would have left him open for enemy attacks, ordering a full attack on the island that would see the Hospitallers defeat and surrender. The Knights disbanded all across Europe and stationed a new headquarters in Rome, focusing only to medical care opposed to military endeavors. The order still exists today, having diplomatic relationships with over 106 countries, helping victims of war and natural disasters. Alright guys, so we're here in Archdragon Peak, and fun fact about this place is that building you see behind me there is actually inspired by Middle Eastern architecture. So technically, this is basically what it would look like in places that the Hospitaller Knights would be fighting. So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna be going for a mid 13th century look here, just because I want to have armor that's going to be viable for the build in order for me to go into multiplayer and actually fight other people. So just keep in mind that we're going to have some armor plating here and there, just because it's mid 13th century and it's at the time where they were experimenting with armor plating. Alright, so for helms, you could just go straight with chainmail, which that's totally fine. You could, that's technically what the normal soldier would wear. So that's fine. It's chain. It's mid 13th century. It's still in use, so you could use that. Or you go for more enclosed type of helmet, which is like this, which again has a chainmail but a helm over it. Now this is actually fairly accurate. There were some helms that look like this. You know, if you want to look it up, you can look up historical helms of the mid 13th century, and some do look like this, so you can use this. But it is at this time that the Great Helm was becoming very popular. So something like this would be mainly what you would see for head protection. And it's also at this time that the Sugarloaf Great Helm is coming into play, which is a different variation of this Great Helm. It has a rounded top instead of a flat top, just because a rounded top would allow for deflection of enemy weaponry. But to my knowledge, there is no Sugarloaf looking helm in this game, so we're going to be going with Great Helms. I don't particularly like the Solaire one too much. It's alright. And the Black Iron one is okay as well. They're both okay? But I feel as though the Cathedral Knight helm is basically the most accurate looking one to the period, or at least what it would technically look like, what it would have been built like. Except for these side things going around the back of the helm, that just wouldn't be there. But this is technically the closest thing you could get to a real historically accurate helm. So in terms of armor, like I said, the reason we're going for mid 13th century here is because this is at the time when they were adding plate armor to on top of chainmail. But chainmail is mainly the armor with Gundersum underneath, which is the padded, like the padding that goes underneath the chainmail. So for that, you can go ahead and you could just go with chain, which is perfectly fine. Again, it's chain. That's the main armor of this time period. So you could just go with that. Or you could go with something more like this. Now this is way less historically accurate, just because of the chest plate. The chest plate just looks way too thick, and it's just it goes around the whole body like that. And during this time period, they did have chest pieces, but not as intricate or as good, that offered as good protection as this one would. So it's a little less accurate, but it's okay. This is more accurate because the chainmail, you see how it looks like it's like a little bit puffed up. I think that's because they have the Gundersum underneath the chainmail, which is why it looks all bulgy like that, which is that the padding underneath. I think that's what it has underneath this armor, which is why it looks like that. Which this is actually really accurate to the time, including the with the apron or whatever the hell you would call that he's wearing over. This is technically really what it would look like. The only reason I'm not using this is just I don't like the look of it. It's too bulky, and the sun, the Solaire, the Sombro emblem. It's just it's cool and all, but I want something that looks more like a Hospitaller Knight, which is why I'm gonna go with the Mirror Chain, which is actually again very accurate. It's very similar to the Solaire armor, except for the fact that the chain does not cover the neck, and I feel like it should. You would have chain underneath the helm too, so that would go underneath the chest part. But this is okay. It's dark. It's not black. It's like dark bluish, and so this is a more accurate look for a Hospitaller Knight. Of course, you would have the white cross, and you have a white deer instead, but this is gonna be close enough. For arms, chain is okay. Again, there were some plating, but I like the chain, so we're gonna go with that. And for leggings, again, chainmail is pretty decent. That's what they were wearing back then. Now again, they were experimenting with plate armor, so I'm gonna be using Solaire's leggings, which has a little bit of plate protection here and there, and it may be too thick, so if it's not historically accurate, this is just way too thick. But this is pretty much what, or as close as we can get to historically accurate 13th century armors for Hospitaller Knights, Templar Knights, Teutonic Knights, a Crusader. This is pretty much what they would wear. So yeah, this is gonna be our armor set. Alright, let's talk about weaponry here. We're gonna go off and start off with the shields. It is at this time that kite shields were being used. Kite shield being this type of shield. A shield similar to this. Now this is okay. The pointed top is okay. It would have mainly been rounded, so this shield is not 100% accurate. It could have happened. There's shields that actually kind of do look like this, but the pointed top is just a little bit too much. Mainly at this time period, these were the shields that were being used, but actually they were going out of style just because they were too long at the bottom, and at this time that they started using more smaller shields. Like I said, something like this is pretty much what they started using, which is still a kite shield. It's just much smaller and would have a rounded top. I think the most accurate looking one would probably be this one. It's pretty actually decent. This is accurate, really accurate up to what a shield in the mid 13th century would look like. But we're gonna be using this shield. Now I understand that this shield, it's just too thick. You see the metal, it's too thick. There's no way. It just looks incredibly heavy. This would not be a viable shield, you know, historically accurate shield rather. It's just too thick. But it is a kite shield, and it's the best shield in the game, so I'm gonna have to use it, you know. It's a kite shield, I'm gonna use it. Just understand that it was mainly this type of shield, or this is the type of look that the shield would have back then. And also these shields, this is actually super accurate, but these were going out of style. So in terms of shields, we're gonna go with the Black Knight shield. Alright, let's talk about weaponry. The normal type of weapon that Hospitaller Knights, Templar Knights, Teutonic Knights, Crusaders would be using is of a standard longsword, which is pretty much this. This is pretty much what it looks like. It's kind of a hard, I can't really show it off too good, but it's the longsword. The standard longsword is the sword that was being used at the time. So we can go ahead and use the normal longsword. We could technically use the Lothric sword, but it's less historically accurate. And we could also use the Bastard sword, which is actually, this is the time period where this sword started to become really popular. The two-handed sword, you've seen it in many movies, you know, the great Bastard sword, Twinehanders, two-handed swords. So you could technically also go with this, but I am gonna go with the longsword for my build. Again, you could use either any longsword. It's just this is more historically accurate. This and the Bastard sword, so you could go ahead and use this or the Bastard sword. And there were also axes and spears, but I'm gonna use the sword. So yeah, let's just get right into the multiplayer. Why don't we? Alright, so just to recap real quick, here is my build. We got a heavy longsword +9, Black Knight shield, got Cathedral Knight helm, mirror chain mail, mirror chain gloves, iron leggings. For the rings we have Favor, Chloranthy, Blue Tear Stone, Ring of Steel protection. My stats are 39 vigor, 40 endurance, 70 strength, and 13 dexterity. Alright, let's get right into it. Alright, let's see. What tryhard did I bump into this time? He's already popping some green moss. Oh, he's got a whip. Never mind. I still might lose just because I'm so bad at this game now since I played this. Yep. This guy's just gonna wreck me. Whoa. Oh my god. Jesus. If he had hit me with that, that would have been I would have been almost gone, or if not gone. Oh, I thought he was gonna come in for an attack. I was trying to bait him in there, but I guess not. There we go, poke. Ah! Dude, how did that poke not kill him? I'm dead. I'm so dead. Oh my god, I'm alive. Ah! Jesus. So close. Dude, I'm getting destroyed by whips. Oh my god. It's been so long. Alright guys, so it's been absolutely forever since I last played this game. The last video I uploaded with the Ubadachi and Onikori was literally the last time I played, and that was just me just messing around because I wasn't even playing Dark Souls at that time. I've actually been playing a lot of Call of Duty, so jumping back on Dark Souls 3 was wow. Oh my god, I haven't played it in months, literally months. Wow, I was never even really that good at this game. I was okay, maybe a little bit above average. Like, well, I could win, you know. I could use weapons here and there. There were some weapons that I would struggle a lot with, and so I was never really that good. But the turtle build that you guys are watching, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna come back and play this game, I'm at least gonna use a build that's, you know, good, you know. So I come in with this build that, you know, I was like, this is perfect because, you know, the Hospitaller Knight, it's Sword and Shield, you know, so it's like, this build is good, and whatever. I'm like, it could have been better. Of course, I could have been using a Dark Lothric Night Sword, but I don't know. I think this. I just wanted, because I wanted to stay authentic to what I was doing. I decided to just use a normal, you know, straight sword, which was a mistake, honestly. And I think I would have done even better if I used the Bastard Sword, honestly, too. But you know, I was struggling, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was struggling to get matches, just because this game's dying, man, and there was a lot of tryhards, and it's just been so long since I stayed away from this game for so long. Just wow. I did have fun. It was a little bit frustrating going up against so many tryhards and a lot of laggy matches, just because like I even turned off cross-region matchmaking, but I was still getting into some pretty laggy matches. But I had fun, honestly. I had fun going back to this game, and I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing this or not. I don't know. It is on the decline. This game is dying, and I am waiting for Sekiro. That game is gonna be sick. I'm so just waiting for that game. I think that it's a transitional game. I think that like this is just from soft testing the waters to like in terms of new game mechanics and the way the character moves and stuff like that, and then they're gonna come out with just an even more epic game than like Dark Souls ever was. But that's just me. Either way, I want to play it. It looks really interesting. It looks actually really fun. But yeah, this project that I did is something. It's an idea that I had for the longest time, and I just wanted to pull it off, but I never really committed, you know, myself to do it until one day I was like, fuck it, let's just go, let's just do it, let's just see what comes out of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually put a lot of time and effort into researching all this stuff and editing the video, and if you guys could leave a like, I would appreciate it very much, because it did take a lot of effort to make this video. It's not easy, man. You know, people think that being a YouTuber is like, oh, you just, you know, you make a video, you upload it, and that's it. It's not. There's the editing, the research, the making sure everything comes out perfect, and the way you want it. It's a lot. It's a lot, guys. So if you guys would drop a like on this, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope that you guys are enjoying the content I got. Like I said, a lot of these matches, like I barely managed to win. So I am fighting like subpar enemies or opponents or whatever, just because like these are the only guys I could basically beat. I will get my ass stomped. In the future, I think I'm gonna replay Dark Souls 2 a let's play and Dark 3 let's play as well, just because I've been saying with these games for way too long, and I love these games very much. And it's been a long time since I played them, so I am gonna come back to them and I am gonna play them again. It's just a matter of time and when and if I really devote myself to do it. But I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Black Ops 4 sucks. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I played BO3 for a good long minute. BO3 was okay, I guess. Oh, dude, this guy was lagging so hard. Oh my god. This is actually, I think, the first match I got into it, and I was like, oh my god, I already know this is gonna be bad just from facing this guy. I was getting my ass kicked. I don't have my rolls. I don't have my timing. I don't have my spacing. I don't have anything. This is just me coming cold in, like, just cold. No warm-up matches, nothing. But yeah, I'll make a video on Call of Duty and how I feel about it later on, and also Battlefield 5, because it's just a big letdown. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this project, this nice little project. I am gonna make, I'm working on other ones like this, and depending on how well this video is received, I will put out the rest of them. So thank you all so much for watching. It's been your boy Ghost Prodigy, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.